Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a legendary speedrun tutorial for Forerunner on the legendary difficulty. So you can see I'm on legendary. At the very start of the mission, I'll start it over. First thing we're going to do is we entered this hub world. So we're going to grab a auto sentry right here to our left. And we're going to get rid of the hard light shield because it's not going to be very helpful in this mission. This mission is very trick heavy and there is very little combat. At most, all we have to do is kill 5 enemies, but we will kill a little bit more just for safety. How this mission works is we're going to be traveling through portals to 3 different sections. Our first section is first pylon, then we'll travel to second pylon, and then to the very ending section where the Didax Cryptum is. Now I will say the first pylon is probably the easiest section for making it through. Second pylon is a little bit more difficult, and the final section is really RNG dependent. It can be either really easy or really hard. Now this first trick we're about to do is called a button jump. It is probably one of the most difficult out of bounds tricks in the game. The jumps can be very precise. So what we're going to do is we're going to run, we're going to kill the first crawler, and you're going to run and deploy an auto sentry. Now, the auto sentry serves as a good distraction. And I'm going to just kill the crawlers so I can show how to do these jumps very easily. Because when you're shot in Halo 4, the bullets slow you down and they push you sideways. Now what you would normally do is you would deploy the auto sentry and you would run and just perform the trick. Got a friend, looks like. You would deploy the auto sentry, and that would make a distraction for the crawlers so you could run and perform the trick I'm about to show. Killing the crawlers takes a little bit more time, but also adds a little bit of consistency to the trick. So what you're going to do is you're going to run up to the button, and you're not going to press it, because if you press it, the button will disappear and you'll have to proceed through the mission as normally planned. You're going to jump on the button, stand on top of it. You're going to crouch jump onto this pillar here. And after that, you're going to jump up on this very thin pillar here. This pillar is very thin. And this is why you want the auto sentry. Because if you get pushed by the bullets, if I go a little bit to the right, I just slide right on off. And same for the left side. You go a little bit too far to the left, you slide on off. So jump on the button, crouch jump. You're going to stand in the middle. But your goal is to aim onto this rock right over here. That is the area we're trying to get to. Now there is an invisible wall right here. The collision on this pillar can be kind of an issue. It will block you half the time because the jumps are very precise. Also, if you don't kill the crawlers, as you are sprinting in Halo 4, once you get shot, you're reduced down to walking speed, which can be very hard for making long gap jumps that need sprint. So, how to line this up is you run a little bit up the pillar, jump and crouch. This is a very tricky jump. This is probably the hardest one of all the jumps, and it does take some practice. There isn't really a lineup to it, it's more just muscle memory. So you run about halfway up the pillar, and then turn and jump aiming for that rock there. Halfway up, jump, and that time I almost didn't make it. So you see the timing is very precise for this jump. Do it one more time. Demonstrate. This time I'll show you what happens if you go too late, or if you hit the side. If you go too late, that will push you away. As you can see, you won't be able to make the jump. So jump on the button, crouch jump, pillar, halfway, aim and crouch. That time I was a little bit too far to the left, so I got a slide jump, which threw me off the rocks. This will probably be the most difficult jump in the entire game. That time, I didn't crouch enough and I didn't make the lip. These are all the different ways you can actually fail button jump, and you will definitely spend a lot of time failing these once you run this game. But once we're up here, careful, there's a hole. you can walk into that and fall through the map. I would not recommend doing that. And there's two ways you can approach this. There's the faster way, which is a little bit harder. You can run, jump on this rock, and make it over here, which is where we have to go. So that rock can make it through this way. But I'll show the original route first. That's a little bit slower and easier. So you're going to sprint, jump on this rock, jump across the chasm. And you're going to run straight forward to run, crouch jump on this rock. And you're going to crouch jump again, then another crouch jump. Now this is what we call a long jump. Your goal for this is to make it from this rock to this set of rocks here. Sounds simple, but rocks in Halo 4 are very slippery and can be very hard to stand on. The easiest way to make this jump is to stand at the top of a rock. As you run, you want to jump up high, like midway on this rock. If you run and wait to jump when you're down here, you will not make it. You will hit these rocks and slide off. Also, aiming for this crack here is very dangerous, because if you hit anywhere except for that spot right there, you will not make it. If you land right there, you will slide off and you will fall down, and this isn't solid, so you'll just fall right through and you will die. So I'll show what I mean. You want to aim up high and crouch as you're jumping. So run and crouch. I'm going to jump back to show it again. Now if you aim down low, like I said, you'll not make it. You will just slide through and you will fall to your death. Now that is one way of making that jump. Now I'll demonstrate the other way of doing that. Unfortunately, the checkpoint is all the way back here, so I'll have to redo this section. I'll try to kill a few of these crawlers. Right now they're distracted by the auto sentry, so I'll hopefully have the chance to make this. Hope getting shot. Okay, another strategy for this is to run up here. And you're going to run to this rock, which will then allow you to run and jump to the rock that we stood on earlier to make that same jump, which is a long jump. So you can run, crouch. I like to stop to line up where I'm running so I can land on this rock to run and jump again. Easier said than done. You can, if you're angle it right, you can actually do a slide jump and land off this and bounce yourself into there, but it is a little bit more complicated. You also want to make sure your sprint is fully charged, for if you run out of sprint midway through, you will not have enough to make this jump. And that is the other alternative section. Once you make it through this, you're going to run straight and you're going to make an immediate U-shape, a U-turn, to run and sprint back over here. This ground here is solid, so if you do fall down there, you won't fall through the map. So I'm going to show this again. So you come off the jump there, you make an immediate left to run up this way. You can muscle run in between these gaps. Now here is a sprinting jump. If you do not sprint and make it to this rock, you will not make it. Also, careful, if you hit the side, it's slippery, you will fall off. Overshoot it, you can see you will fall off over there. So these jumps are very precise where you land on these rocks. You can't land right in the middle. So land here. Would not recommend jumping, because if you hit a slide jump, more than likely you're going to fall down there and die, or you're going to fall over there and die. You're going to just navigate your way through these rocks, and you're going to now crouch jump up to here and just follow the path. Now we're getting back to the portion we're about to get back in bounds. You want to run, jump, sprint, and land on the center of this roof here. If you land too far to the sides, on the right or left, you'll fall either out of the map or you'll fall on the map, like halfway into the ceiling, and the map will load around you. You'll become soft locked. So run, land in the middle, just in the middle. You don't want to be too far left or too far right. You're going to just follow this. Now get back in bounds. You're going to look vertical right here at this crease, run straight forward, and jump. And it's really dark, but if you just run straight forward still, you will just follow the map and land back. That's the easiest way to line that up. And as you can see, nothing has spawned. All of the enemies have deloaded, which is a really good thing for us, because we skipped an entire fight, and now all the enemies in this section up to first pylon have been deloaded. In Halo 4, when you get shot, you're slowed down. So there are benefits to having enemies loaded. You can move through sections faster. And I'm not explaining the routing, I better go back and show that. So you're going to come through this area like normal. You want to run, you want to jump onto this rock here and crouch jump immediately. Oh, the game made me, but crouch jump immediately to land up here. This is the fastest way through this section. And run, and you're going to just slide jump and crouch again. Now, muscle running is very important in this mission, because since this mission has no combat to it, it is very movement based. Which means you can lose a lot of time just from bad muscle running, bad sprint cycles. And now we're about to arrive at first pylon. You get a checkpoint, you want to run and immediately book it for this first core. And once you're in here, you want to punch the core. Now you can wait here for shields. I'm going to, and if you wait long enough, sometimes you get a checkpoint. And our strategy is going to be is to run, throw a grenade in this core, then run up to the top to throw it in the other core. So we're going to run. You're going to aim right about here above the roof, and you're going to just chuck a nade, and it'll blow it up every time. I'm going to revert the show one more time, because you can do that on the move. You don't have to stop to throw that grenade. I just did for lineup purposes. So run, punch. I lost no shield, so I'm just going to run for it. And I throw my grenade up there, and boom. Now our next section, this next part, we're going to just run around, try not to get shot at all. And up here you'll get a checkpoint if you wait long enough. Got one right there. Perfect. This is the final thing you have to blow up in this section. You're going to take your other frag grenade, and you're going to aim right about above this again. Just like that. You're going to throw your nade, and it'll bounce in and destroy the core. Now sometimes these crawlers can actually interfere and get in the way of your grenade. If that happens, if you have a checkpoint, revert. If you don't have a checkpoint, that means you have to run down there and punch the core, which on Legendary means your run's probably dead. So you want the checkpoint to run, aim right above there, and it'll bounce in. And now you want to move fast because enemies will spawn in up here. And here's a crouch jump. So if you run, or just walk, you can run and crouch in here and land on this corner. And you can jump up the tower faster, just like that. The alternative is running around all the way, but that's kind of a waste of time. So just walk, crouch, land, and then just jump and turn. And now we are officially through first pylon. This is definitely what I would say the easier portion of this mission. So now we're going to press the button and ride the elevator. The next section has two tricks. The first one is called Battle Jump, and the second one is the Banshee Skip, or second pylon skip, or whatever you want to call it. Both are easy, but can also be very difficult. And I'll explain why they can be difficult once we get there. So we're going to pull the core, and then we'll be sent through a series of portals back to the hub world, or the hub room, and then we'll be progressing to second pylon. As you can see, there's very little combat in this mission. Like I said, you will not be fighting, you will be skipping everything in this mission. Except for 5 enemies we have to kill, but we haven't even approached them yet. Now we're on our way to second pylon, where we will now fight the Prometheans and the Covenant at the same time. Forgot to mention, this is the first mission where you encounter the Prometheans, which are kind of like a replacement of the Flood, I guess. But they fight just like how the Covenant would. Now here you're going to get a checkpoint. And this is what we call Battle Jump. There's going to be a rock over here. You're going to jump up. I'm being shot at, as you can see. The goal is to make from this rock over there. So you're going to run, jump up on here, crouch jump, and I made the jump. Usually, this jump is more complicated than what it looks, because if you get shot at any point during battle jump, you will not make that jump. Because, like I said earlier, getting shot slows you down. And this jump is just big enough that you have to sprint to make it. This time I probably won't make it. I lied, I actually didn't make it. It's about a half and half battle. Half the time you'll make it, half the time you won't. There is a slower way of doing this jump that's a bit more consistent. I'll show that now, actually. So, actually I made it that time. I thought I was going to make it. That'd be a good example. Guess it wasn't. So, let's say in case you don't make that jump, you can do the same type method. This is the alternative to battle jump. You can run, jump up here, and you can run to jump to this rock. Unfortunately, I hit a mushroom and didn't make it. So we're going to just try it again. So yeah, careful with the mushrooms. You don't want to stub your toes in this game. So if you run, jump, make it here, you can get shot as you can see, and make it no problem. And now you can just run through like normal, like if we were to make battle jump. Now let's say you miss battle jump for some reason, like you get shot. On legendary, usually that means you will die. But easy, you usually won't. It'll just be an annoyance. So you fall down, you're going to come down here. If you manage to survive, try to kill the leaf you can. You're going to crouch jump right up here. You're going to run, hug the right side as best that you can, and hope you don't get shot by the carbine guy. And once again, you'll make it through. Now I'm going to do battle jump again, and I'm going to show what happens after you make that jump and you get to where those watchers come out the cave. So you're going to want to shoot the watchers so that they don't shoot you, so you can perform a half-second skip. That time I made it while being shot. That's amazing. So once you make it to this point, there's going to be 3 watchers that pop out. You want to shoot them as they come out, and that means they won't shoot at you. And you can run and jump and grab this ghost. This only saves 1 second. It's not really that big of a deal if you miss it. I'm going to do it one more time and show you what happens if you do miss it, and what you can do to save yourself, or what to do in that situation. So here come 3 watchers. We'll shoot at them. If they come out, there we go. Now I'm going to miss the ghost this time. So I got rid of watchers and missed. This knight is stuck in animation, so you can just backsmack him and run to grab a ghost. Just like that. Now, at this point, you're just going to drive through the enemies in a certain path. Try not to be shot. You're just going to drive through the cave. Very, very simple. Not much to do. And here you want, once again, just drive through the enemies. Try not to get overcharged or shot at. It's hard to say, don't do that, but you want to try to avoid being shot at all costs. And now we're about to make it to the next trick, which is the Banshee Skip. Banshee Skip is a very, you're timed. Not like you're timed, like if you don't make it, like you're going to be shot at a lot. And if you're not fast on Legendary, you will blow up. Your Banshee won't make it. I would recommend doing this trick on easy first to learn how to get out of bounds and like how to navigate the trick, because Legendary is a lot more difficult. You have a lot less time. If you make mistakes, you'll probably die. So the first thing you're going to do is go through this door and try to splatter this elite. Nicely, you get a checkpoint. Since I missed him, I have to assess. Just backsmack him. If you miss, revert. As you can see, the ghost doesn't do anything. You do not want the lead in the Banshee. Now, you could, in theory, wow, I'm getting really bad RNG here. You could, in theory, grab the elite after like hijack the Banshee, but you won't get 100% boost, which is very critical for the amount of health you're taking. Now, I'd always fly sideways here to avoid Banshee bombs. You want to fly up high till you hit a wall and you can't go forward, then you'll just fly down. Careful not to boost as you hit those rocks, or else you will indeed damage your own Banshee. Show it again. Didn't kill the lead that time, not necessary. And you want to boost as fast as you can. Do not fly too low or else you'll be EMP'd out of the air. See, this time I'm taking a lot more damage than last time. Hit a wall, so now I can go down. You be careful not to hit walls too fast. Now, since I have no health in my Banshee, I'm going to do the safe way up to the top of the tower. You want to fly out here, you'll be out of the Banshee's range, who will try to shoot at you. And if you fly all the way around, you can come out to the top of the tower up here. And fly in, load the map in, and continue the mission. Very simple, very easy. Unfortunately, I keep having issues with this elite. The Banshee's not going to bother me for a little bit, which is going to be really nice. So I'm going to fly up, I'm going to hit the wall, there we go. So you have very, very little time to do that. You'll be very careful. Now the fast way to do this, but also more risky, is just to fly straight up into the wall instead of building. The Banshees will shoot at you the majority of the time, so if you have low Banshee health, you won't make it. And this time I'm not being shot barely at all, which is very rare. And you can just fly up and fly in. Now once you're in here, even if you came in from the other way, your goal is to fly into the door, and you'll trigger this thing to you can now activate this and pull the second core. Yep, I would definitely go and practice that trick on easy, but you don't really have to line up with anything. You just want to fly up and sideways until you can't go forward no more, and then just duck down, and then you'll be inside the barriers. It's easy as that. There isn't really an exact lineup you need to hit the wall. If you are flying for an exact lineup, it usually means you're flying in a straight line, which means that you're going to get Banshee bombed, so don't fly in straight lines. It's bad. Now this is the 5 enemies we have to kill. 4 grunts and a jackal with the carbine. This is the only 5 that you're required to kill. So you shoot them with the magnum as they're hopping out. I missed a grunt, which is no big deal. Now you're presented with the options now to travel left or right. We want to travel left. Going right, okay, this section presents you with like 2 scenarios. On the right side, it's Covenant fighting the Prometheans. The Covenant are winning. This side is the Covenant fighting the Prometheans, but the Prometheans are winning. The reason why this side is bad is because in the second portion, there will be a Phantom that flies in with a turret gunner who can see you from a long distance away, and he can completely tear your shields up and kill you immediately. That is why we avoid the right side. As we go to the left side, there are no Phantoms, and it's just the Prometheans, which are usually more busy fighting the Covenant, so you can sneak around them much easier. So you run up here, you press the button. Now you want to hide here for a second. There's going to be an elite that rocks around the corner. Just let him pass by so the turrets and the Prometheans see him. He doesn't see you. Run up here and backsmack this elite. I actually didn't backsmack the elite, which is perfect for his example. I even assassinated him. So if you don't, you use the AR to shoot him, and you can just follow this left side of the room. Nothing will usually ever shoot you, and that room is really safe. Now you can crouch jump atop the light rifle crate and come up here. If you wait long enough, you can usually get a checkpoint if you stand right by the elevator. And I pause my game because I don't want things to die in the next section, because I need everything to be alive, so there's as many distractions as I can. The path I'm about to take this is very RNG based. Sometimes you'll get lucky, sometimes you won't. Like right now I have a knight on this ramp. Sometimes he won't be here, which means I'm going to get shot at more, which really sucks. And you see the strategy here is just to run and hope you don't get shot. And this works a lot more than what it doesn't. It works a lot more than what it doesn't. And it's worth multiple tries, because it's a lot faster than fighting this whole section out. Also, don't shoot anything, because that will just draw attention to you. You don't want that. And once you get up to the top of the ramp through, you want to hug left for cover, and hope the binary rifle guy hasn't shot you from that point on, because the binary rifle is a one-hit kill in Halo 4, kind of like how the Jackal Snipers are in Halo 2. So you want to run and just duck into cover here. And once you're here, you're going to just crouch jump up onto here, crouch jump again, you get a checkpoint here, and you're going to run, crouch jump, and just hug this wall as much as you can. Now you can just run, hug the wall again, crouch jump up, and activate the 2 pillars. Like I said, this mission isn't about combat, it's just about following the set path and avoiding enemies at all cost. So this mission is really easy to complete, but this mission can also be your worst enemy, because it's about 10 minutes long if you play really well, and you can lose time very easily just from bad movement. And this mission is very RNG based. Now we're in the ghost section. This section is very straightforward. Just ride your ghost. Try to stay in the middle of the path, and you'll have you'll be less likely to flip over upside down if you're in the middle. But you can still flip. And I will say, the MCC version on the Xbox One is a lot better for this section than the 360. It's not faster. It's just that the vehicle physics on the 360 version are a lot less consistent. You'll be more likely to flip in the Warthogs and Ghosts, and it makes driving through this section fast very difficult. So your goal is just to try to stay in the middle. You can hug these corners because since nothing is blowing up, but here you want to just stay in the middle of the path and just try not to flip over. Sometimes you will. There's nothing you can do. It's unfortunate. So just hug the middle of the path to drive to the end. This mission has no benefits on playing against. Okay, there's no benefits on playing the MCC version of this mission in comparison to the 360 version, other than ghost physics at the end. And loads are a little bit slower in the 360 version. But other than that, the 360 version does stack up to the MCC version pretty well. So don't be discouraged if you ever want to run in the 360. It's still very liable. His loads don't make that much of a difference. It's only a few seconds here and there. Now we're about to reach the end of the ghost section. And the last jump is very easy to flip on. Majority of the time you can probably flip. We have yet to find a way to fully make this consistent. As you can see, I'm flipping upside down like crazy. You just drive into the portal, and you're all done. And that was the 3rd mission of Halo 4 on the Legendary difficulty. Okay. Next time we'll be doing Infinity. That is debatably one of the hardest missions in Halo 4. It has a nice mix of tricks, but also a lot of combat. So there'll be a lot going on in this next mission. But that'll be for next time.